minutes. On the question of seeking, I said that what we have to seek is the fullness of everything. Right? Remember that? Now, that's exactly what Dr. Ashutosh Mathur said to you just now in different words. If your orientation is towards seeking fullness, there is nothing small in the world. Fullness is not quantitative. It's the exact opposite of seeking anything quantitatively. Unfortunately, the predominant attitude today is to measure, assess everything in terms of size and bulk. And it's therefore all the more important for us to be reminded of these basics. So today I'm going to take that thought a little further, but using different words. I hope you're ready. Now, when I said what we have to seek is the fullness of everything, I could as well have said, seek life, and not the means to live or means for living. There's a whole world of difference between seeking life and seeking the accessories of life. Albert Einstein once said that the peculiarity of modern man is that in his preoccupation with the means for life, the instruments for life, he forgets the very purpose of life. In our obsession with the accessories of life, we let our grip on life slip. We forget to live. And that's a terrible mistake. So now, being focused on life, first I said it's not a quantitative matter. Now I'm going to couch it in different words again. Slightly more technical. It's a matter of not having but being. Seeking is a matter, or should not be a matter, of having but of being. You must seek to be, not seek to have. And this is the man is helpless. All right, that's fine, Yeah. All right. The greatest mistake everywhere is that we seek to have and fail to be. Now let me illustrate what this means, because this needs to be understood very, very clearly. In olden days, before electricity came, and I straddled these two periods, when I grew up there was no electricity in my village, and I began to see the first electric bulb only when I was in standard 7. So you can't imagine a world like that, but I've seen that world too. So in those days, a lamp was very important. I mean, you couldn't separate a student from a lamp. But a lamp, even in those days, had two different avatars, two different versions. There were ornamental lamps, which were meant to be kept on the showcases. There were also lamps meant to be used. If you needed to read a book, you had to have a lamp. Now, there is a whole world of difference between the ornamental lamp and the lamp in use. In the ornamental lamp, there should not be any oil, because it is not meant to give light. On the other hand, the lamp that you use is of no use unless there is oil in it. The lamp with oil is an illustration of being. The lamp without oil is an illustration of having. You can have an ornamental piece. Now, you can live like that ornamental lamp, seeking to draw attention to oneself, but completely unmindful of the question whether or not you are of any use to anyone. Totally indifferent to the kind of impact you have on others, on the institution, on your friends, on the classroom, on the academic culture of the college. It's only when you are a lamp without oil that you turn St. Stephen's College into a label, a brand value. If you're oriented towards being, you will never treat the college in that manner. You will know that being a Stephanian is or should be an inward quality, not an outward cosmetic claim. Unfortunately, that is what it is. That's precisely what Dr. Ashutosh Mathur meant when he said that many alumni, and I can bear this out myself, invariably every alumnus I have met has told me that they did not make good use of the college when they were here. They always say, I wish we had, or we wish we had. What was the problem? The problem was that they thought that St. Stephen's College was an ornamental lamp. They themselves, therefore, had to be small ornamental lamps, and they forgot to enrich their inner life with the culture, the vision, the tradition of the college, the spirit of the college, the essence of the college. And I want to emphasize this just to ensure that the same terrible mistake doesn't repeat itself in your times. So the first thing to remember is that seeking is a matter of being. If you fail to seek, you will never be. You may gain things, you may have a lot of things, but you will not be. And you remember I used an expression from Eliot, the stuffed men, the hollow men, comparable to the oil of the lamp without oil. Now the second part of seeking is growing. If you seek, you will invariably grow. If you don't seek, you will vegetate. Now, the greatness of an institution depends, in my opinion, entirely on the stimulation, challenge, and invitation the institution continually gives to all its members, students, teachers alike, to grow. Because growth is the secret of happiness. If you really look at anything that has made you happy in life, happiness as against pleasure. Pleasure is the very opposite of happiness. Pleasure is a stumbling block to your growth. Happiness always indicates your growth. Any experience which contributes to your growth in any way yields happiness. Now, whether you will remember St. Stephen's College with happiness or not, or whether you will remember this college with regret, as many alumni do, depends on whether or not you see this institution as a place of growth, or as a place where you show off, or as a place from where you acquire only a label. And that's a very serious matter. The third thing I want to emphasize in this context, first I said it's a matter of being rather than having. Second, I said it's a matter of growing. And third, seeking, very importantly, is also a matter of sharing. Now, what do you seek? Would you seek only your comfort, your advantage, your benefit, your profit? Or would you also seek others and encounter them in their needs? Why should you grow at all? After all, if you're only growing for yourself, then you don't have to grow much. A little growth will do to meet your needs. But if you really want to become a person relevant to the needs of a multitude of people, which is possible for you, which I believe is the greatest blessedness in life, then you know that there can be no limit to your growth. Surely, you will not grow if you are self-centered and selfish, and you confine your preoccupation only with your advantage and your enjoyment. You will hit the ceiling pretty soon, and that's a tragedy. And this is the reason why globally this epidemic of the dwindling stature of human beings is staring us in the face, because all over members of our species are only growing individually, only for their own sake. People who factor the needs of others in their own strategy for growth are very few and far between. How did Mother Teresa become the keeper of the conscience of the globe? She was only a school teacher. She came to Calcutta to teach in a convent school. She could have very well stayed confined to the school, become a very popular teacher. But she found a world of need, a world of suffering. And she knew that this world of suffering had no limits, and therefore she had to grow and to grow and to grow. And those of us who have personally interacted with her know the magic of that growth, and know that that is the greatest treasure on earth. There is no position in the world with which this can be measured. Seek your neighbors in their needs. Seek justice for others. Seek a fuller expression of what is noble within you. As against this, we have the most disappointing situation in which people get preoccupied with their own small little things. I'm sorry to have to say this again and again. There are times when I get very disappointed with our college, with the attitude of young people. How easily we are upset with very small things. And the kind of aberration in conduct that this induces. Now, this recent episode of the theft of the microwave oven is a result of some kind of an unedifying competition between resident boys and resident girls. Why should girls have a facility which boys don't have? And we can be as petty as that. What does that mean? Pettiness doesn't come into being just like that. Pettiness is a byproduct of not seeking. Pettiness is a byproduct of only wanting to have. I must have a microwave. If I can't have it, she cannot have it. Now, if this is the attitude with which you go into the wider world, this college has every reason to have a nightmare. I plead with you, my friends, please stop in your track and think where you're headed. Seek Seek the better self in yourself. Seek the noble self in yourself. Seek the light within yourself. Seek a better world. Let's rise for prayer.